Hi, Anna. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. So, thanks for hopping on today. We were going to talk a little today about how anxiety isn't always such a bad thing, and maybe some different perspectives on how anxiety can be helpful so that people who might be struggling with that can change the conversation they're having with themselves and just see if they can shift the way they feel about their anxiety so that there's a little bit less judgment attached to it.
Yeah, anxiety is already difficult enough without also judging yourself for having it.
Exactly. Yeah. So, one thing that I always kind of talk to people about, whether it's in normal life or in therapy, is just that your anxiety is giving you a signal for something. Like there's actually a reason that it's there and it's trying to protect you. Um, Recently, Lori and I did a Tidal Talk, and we were talking about parts work or internal family systems. And it's like asking yourself, what part of you is trying to keep you safe right now? So, anxiety isn't always a bad thing in the sense that it's there to keep you safe. Where it can become problematic is when it's keeping you safe from things that aren't real dangers. But when you change the conversation, I like if you change the conversation that you're having with yourself about it and you recognize, oh, I'm really anxious about this social event because as a kid, I didn't fit in. And when I went to social events, I usually got laughed at. So my anxiety is trying to keep me safe from this experience that I had over and over again when I was 6 years old. Is that really needed right now? You can actually look at the anxiety and say, thank you for trying to keep me safe. But right now we aren't in danger. So let's give it a try.
Yeah, and I like that too because it is about having kind of like a collaborative relationship with the part of you that's anxious and creating a more kind environment inside of you. So that's exactly it. Appreciate that it's there, trying to keep you safe. And I also think of it sometimes too, like the anxiety shows you what you value. Because why would you be anxious about that social situation if you didn't value relationships and being connected to others? So sometimes it's also something that guides you in the direction that fits for you. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually had never thought of it that way before. That's awesome. If you value belonging and acceptance and you value the connection that you have with people and you care about that, then some anxiety might kick in because you want that to be a positive experience and a positive connection, right?
For sure. And I think that anxiety can draw attention to things in your life that actually do need your care. We often do have legitimate anxiety. Um, and a question you can ask yourself is kind of what you had said, what purpose does this serve? And sometimes it is to point out that there's action that's required on your part. And that's really helpful. So I'm often really appreciative that worry kicks in or I start to ruminate because it's needed.
Absolutely. If we didn't have anxiety, we would never get anything done, ever. So, it's anxiety that gets you to work on time because you care about showing up to work on time. It's anxiety that has you finishing that or studying for that exam before you have to write it. Because if you had zero capacity for anxiety, then you wouldn't be able to take any forward motion because there wouldn't be a motivator for it. And so it's just about finding the balance between where is this motivating me to change and where is it hindering me from enjoying the moment.
Exactly, because it can be overwhelming and lead to avoidance, um, which is really debilitating at times for sure.
Mm-hmm. And that one's interesting because the anxiety exists to motivate you towards change. But when it gets overwhelming, it creates avoidance. And then it's a self defeating cycle.
Yes, but and avoidance too harms us because we never actually get to know our patterns and what the thoughts are that are attached to the feelings. The feeling happens, then we shut down pretty quickly. But when you start to accept anxiety and have that kind of collaborative relationship with it, you allow yourself to have more access to the thoughts. And that really frees you, I think.
Mm.
New narratives.
Yeah. And oh, there was something in my head. It popped in and then it popped out, but that's okay. You were saying that it frees you. I don't know. It's gone. Well,
That's all right. That's where my thought
it
ended too.
happens.
So
And sometimes when I'm anxious, that's what happens to my brain. Point in case, guys. So what would you recommend as a starting point for someone who might want to start creating that new narrative with their anxiety?
Yeah, well, I think increasing your capacity to sit with the feelings and be curious is a good place to start. And there are so many different ways to do that. Um, there are visualization strategies that can help. There are a lot of body based things. I know people are sick of hearing about deep breathing, but I'm a big fan. I think it makes a difference. But it depends on the person, and what their interests are. Some people are able to go kind of the cognitive route. Other people need to start with the body based techniques or some kind of combination of both. But
Mhm.
yeah.
What you just said reminded me of what I forgot about a second ago. What I was going to say is coming at anxiety from a space of curiosity instead of judgment makes all the difference in that narrative and in how you communicate with yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. Self compassion is
Definitely. So self compassion, curiosity, and deep breathing.
all of the buzzwords in the field we have thrown at you. You're welcome.
You guys don't even have to come for therapy.
No, done.
Kidding. It's still super helpful.
Well, I think this has been a good little chat for today.
Yes. Thank you so much for hopping on. And we'll see everyone next week.
Okay. Bye.